gentlemen,
GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE.
Hey, when it come to the hustle, you ain't seen nothing like it. I always knew this day would come, I ain't seen one psychic. Plus all my niggas play at ones, I ain't got no sidekicks. And all my ladies know what's up, I ain't got one side chick. Hey yo, it's Mr. Seventh Letter, I'm so fucking G. That's probably why your favorite woman love to fuck with me. And when it come to these flows, I'm like the fucking sea. Feel like Alonzo Harris, who the fuck got what on me? 100 training days wouldn't get you to this fucking level. And if you pulling strings, that only means that I'm Geppetto. Real niggas, they move in silence, you ain't get the memo. I'm making noise without a word, this hustle instrumental. You niggas out here improvising, I stick to the script. I get it done, I handle business, that's just what it is. These niggas down and steal the wheel until the whip crash. But they can only play their role, these niggas ludicrous. Most these niggas playing too much, yeah. So these days we ain't saying too much. But baby, don't you take this meeting lightly, cause you ain't never met a seventh letter like.
let's go!
The station that keeps it rocking 24/7.
Ladies and gentlemen,
GRIZZBIZMY2SENSE.
Wednesday to Wednesday, we are back at it. It's always something jumping off Wednesday to Wednesday. You understand me? We got Miss Nicola in the building. Let's give Miss Nicola the realest round of applause. We waiting on the other two girls. Miss Nikki Baby, I know she in here. Miss Nikki Baby, give me a round of applause for her. I know you around there. I was trying to make jokes about you being late, but you was right on point. So I had to retract my statement. I've been watching Suits a lot. Retract my statement. Now, Tyann, I don't know. Tyann, yeah, I don't know. She probably pop in later on. If not, it's all good. She probably out getting to the money. So we're going to do something real special today. We're going to have a guest on. She's on, and we're going to talk about mental health in the black community. But in the meantime, is that my phone?
Can you not see me or hear me?
I can't see. Oh, there you go.
That's your phone. We can't see you. Yeah, now we can see you. So as soon as we get that together, we're going to run through. Yeah, I was. I'm sorry. I should have known.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my phone. Like, where's that coming from?
Can you please help me with
Whatever.
this?
Before we get started, let's go ahead and run our sponsors, man, and get to them because with them, they're aiding us to get more sponsors, and we're aiding them to get more customers. So first up, we got Goody's Barbecue, 1440 Hamilton Avenue. Go get you some barbecue. Everybody want to talk about the pulled pork. I always talk about the ribs, the greens, the cakes, everything. Whatever you need barbecue, he got it. And he got the best deal on the rib tips. I know he want me to talk about the pulled pork and the what do they call that?
Brisket.
Brisket. We have heard a lot about the brisket. And you can catch him on Fridays at Vince's too. So go on down to Goody's Barbecue in Mount Healthy. And when you go in there, go ahead and tell them my 2 cents and get 10% off your meal or whatever you purchase. I don't care if it's one rib or one biscuit or one green. One rib.
Can I just get some sauce?
You can get some sauce, and you take 10% off of that sauce. Now, I don't know about sauce being free, so it might cost you $1. It might cost you 50 cents when you get there. But anyway, let's give Goodies a round of applause. Goodies Barbecue. Slab, bit. And next up, we got Jarman Home Solutions. Jarman Home Solutions is a black-owned electrical company, and they can handle any of your electrical needs in your home, whether it be moving a fuse box, whether it be changing light sockets, whether it be putting in an electric outlet for your car. They are certified to do it all. So you need to call 513-266-8290 or get your estimate at JarmanHomeSolutionsLLC.com. And like everybody else that's a sponsor, you too can receive a 10% discount if you say my 2 cents. So if you just want them guys to change your light bulb, 10% off. If you want them guys to screw in the light socket, 10% off. Let's give Drummer Homes Solutions a round of applause. Next up, we got Dank Nation, www.danknation.co. And today is very important because I don't know if people have been paying attention, but we are about 600 votes short of that being making it recreational for November. So if you go to my page, I've been putting up the link to where you should go download the petition, sign it, scan it back into the computer, and mail it to them. We need those 600 and some votes by Monday. So I'm gonna be doing everything I can to get out there and tag you and all you weed heads, all you cannabis smokers, everybody. So this is very big. I want to give a shout out to the black farmers in Cincinnati. This right here, this move right here is monumental in us recouping or getting paid off of years of being tormented by weed, by having weed. Now they making billions off of it, millions off of it. And of course, Ohio is slow like molasses because we got people like DeWine who wants to keep us behind, so.
You liked it, that rhyme.
Didn't I? And you come on in. See what I'm talking about? It's spreading. But anyway, make sure you get out and sign that petition and go to www.danknation.co and get some of the apparel that we got. We got some fire clothing for you. Let's give Dank Nation a round of applause. Next up, we got G14 Classified. Now, I don't know about y'all, but men is always talking about women's weaves, all of this, all of that, the patent of the head. But let me tell you something. Negroes got man weaves, too. I, too, was a user of the man weave. But if you want quality product, you need to go to Polished Barbershop and order you some of the products that he have. I know it's funny. You would never tell. Matter of fact, if you go to polishedbarbershop.com and you check out some of the transformations, I'm on there too. You would be like, oh my gosh, for real.
I had the Steve Harveys.
No, I didn't have no Steve Harvey, baby. I had waves. I had good hair anyway. She's make. I'm
sorry.
Yeah, go to polishedbarbershop.com and get you some G14 classified products. Let's give G14 Polished Barbershop a round of applause. She threw me off with that one there, man. She made me think of myself when I had her. All right, next up we got Bagman. That's right. They go right along with danknation.co. So everybody got these bags, right? But you want to stand out with your product because it's coming around the corner in November. So you want to be different from everybody. So go on down to Bagman, and get you some bags. You can get custom bags. You can get Molar bags. You can get bags at your wildest dreams. And not only do they do bags, they also do wraps for your vehicles, your homes, and all, your businesses and everything. So go on down to Bagman down on Hopple and Coleraine, right behind Wendy's, right next to shameless plug City Gear. We're going to have to get some gear for you guys. City Gear, and go ahead and pick up your bag. Let's give Bagman a round of applause. Okay, Tyann is trying to get in here. That's what's up. Well, like I said, today is a special day for me, and I'm sure everybody else, but for me, it's special because we've been trying to get somebody with education on mental health for the last year. And it really became a topic last year and the year before. It was on social media. Some of the platforms, the bigger platforms, were talking about mental health. And I kind of agree that black folks got mental health issues. And I didn't want to talk about it seriously without having some professional person on here who has experience doing this. So I want to give Nicole a shout out. give her a round of applause for finding the guest tonight. You know what I'm saying? She was on it, and I think mental health is a issue for everybody. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I want to introduce Miss Emily French. Hey there, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I am geeked and happy, as you can see. Like I said, this has been something we've been wanting to talk about for the longest. But before we get started, tell the people what it is you actually do and your education background, because right now you probably be the most serious person with credentials
I don't know about that.
on the
Thank
show. You know what I'm saying? This is ghetto fabulous. But anyway, go ahead. Let us know your background.
Okay, yeah. So I have a master's degree in community mental health. I currently hold a license of licensed clinical professional counselor with supervision. I have been in practice as a counselor for 11 years, but I've been in the social work field for 18 years. I don't look it, I know.
No, you
But
don't.
Oh, thank you. So I've done case management services. I've done coordination of care. I've worked with children, adults. I've done substance abuse treatment, and I've done individual, group, and family counseling as well.
All right.
And right now, I have I start off in private practice of my own called Oasis Living Center, and we just transitioned to become a community mental health services. So we provide case management and counseling services.
Let's give that a round of applause. And are you located here? Are you in Cincinnati?
I am located in Fairfield.
In Fairfield. That's Cincinnati anyway.
Yeah,
Oh, Cincinnati.
called Oasis Living Center.
Oasis Living Center. That's what's up. So with this transformation and so forth, my first question is this.
Yeah.
Do you think there's a problem, mental health in the Black community?
Oh, absolutely, yes. It's part of my motivation to create this safe place for our people, our brown people, to walk in and see someone who looks like them, who is educated, and to make them feel safe and comfortable to want to address any issues that we have. So yes, it's a huge problem.
A huge problem. My thing is like with everybody else, though, is how do we get the Black community to recognize and to take off the taboo of going to a doctor or a counselor or a professional person for help?
Yeah.
How do we combat that?
No, I think the starting point is what you're doing right now is to create that platform for us to talk about it. That, you know, historically when psychology came about, it was more of go lay on the couch and tell me how you feel and how does that really make you feel. And it evolves to a place where, you know, clients were called patients. And when you think about a patient, a medical doctor, you tell them your symptoms and they fix you. But over time, we realized that we're not fixing people in therapy. We are helping them problem solve their problems so they can live their better life. They already know what to do, but you need to give them space with that extra clinical education so that they can do better. And so that's what therapy has evolved. So it's not about, oh, you go in there because you're crazy or there's something wrong with you. It's more of like, okay, I need to navigate better in this life. And how can I do that? I need to talk to someone who's non-judgmental and be able to help me hold myself accountable to do better. Instead of, you know, calling your girlfriend and saying, hey, this is what's going to be like, girl, you need to do blah, blah, blah. No, a therapist, really what we do is to say, okay, what are the problems? Here are your resources. Here are some information on how you're feeling and why you're feeling this way. Now, what do you want to do about it? And you leave it to the client to decide. So it can range from somewhere with, I have anxiety about being a parent. I have anxiety about going to work. I feel sad and depressed because I'm not where I need to be in life. So it's like more into coaching and really asking the right question that will prompt the client to arrive to their own solutions on their own.
That's what's up. I'm glad you said that because I've had counseling therapist from a therapist, and I told them the story, And you made a lot of sense because my story was, and it'll be real quick to the point, was I didn't connect with any of the psychiatrists that these people put me in front of, told me to go to, until I went to a sister. I found a sister, and it was more just like what you just said. I wasn't a patient. I was more like a client.
Yeah.
And I miss those conversations because she was not judgmental. And I can't, it is a problem because as a black man for myself, I can't go tell my boys, my brothers, or even my wife or my mother or whoever certain things without them interjecting, like you said, what I should do or this do, or do this and do that. And they all might have good intentions. And not saying that they don't have good intentions, but I could see the difference when I talk with her in our sessions, and you said it eloquently, coaching, because I remember a couple incidences where she was like, well, look at it like this. I would say, I don't have a bone in the fight. But you might want to look at it like this, or you might want to look at it like this, and it was, like a light bulb came on, like, okay.
That's what's up.
That's
absolutely. And I think within the brown community, I can say that there are so many layers that contributes the barriers to us accessing help. I've shared this with clients in the past that your job as a living thing is to avoid pain and survive. And so until you learn to survive first, all other things are secondary. Don't think about that. So historically, you thinking about people in the brown community being identified as low income, high risk community. And so your job is to make sure your physiological needs are met, which includes food, shelter, clothing, water, and feeling physically and emotionally safe. So if you live in an environment where there's domestic violence, chaotic living arrangement, being homeless, not having proper meals, you're not going to think about self-actualization, which is really saying, what else can I do to better myself? So I think what my services bring to the table is, let's add case management services to your service plan, which is, let's talk about these problems, identify them. Then the case manager can work with you to have your basic needs met. So when you feel safer, it's so easy to look at other things that are not helping you grow and be better.
Wow. That's what's up. You had touched on the problems of or the barriers that we have getting access to health care. I just watched something today, and I didn't know that the reason why the United States doesn't provide health care as something that like other kind of countries is because Canada, because they didn't want black folks to have no type of insurance at all, no type of health care at all. And then to combat that, they put a 20% copay fee, this, that, and the third, attached to that. So poor white, and we're talking about black community, but poor black folks wouldn't want to go pay that 20% fee to go get health care.
Yeah, and I don't know about the logistics of the information you're providing, but if you don't have enough to eat, you don't have a safe place to sleep, and you don't have clothes on your back, I think it's counterproductive for someone to say, well, you need to go to therapy. Can I eat first? You know what I mean? And so a way of creating a wider gap between the rich and the poor is to make services almost inaccessible by restricting you from having your basic needs met. Because most of our people live in impoverished areas, and so they're just trying to survive. And so those things are not part of their thinking process. So why would I want to go and sit in front of a doctor and them telling me what I'm missing and I'm missing, but they're not really hearing me? What I really need is to feel safe.
Right.
Yeah. So when you walk in my office, it's more of, you see me, and immediately that familiarity of what I look like looks like you. And so some of the insecurities are dropped down a little bit. And then we can have conversations about, where do you live? What do you need? How do you support yourself? Let's get you some help to kind of bring you up some. So when the brain can calm down, then we can do the other stuff. And I tend to have better outcome and results through doing that.
That's right.
That's what's up. So, is it healthcare insurance based? Is it walk-in? Is it recommendation? How does one pay for such services as yours?
Okay, that's a good question. So I have a sliding scale all the way to paying fully out of pocket, and somewhere in between there will be insurance. Some I've had people who had no idea how to apply for benefits. And so they come in and they go, I do want the help, I just don't know what to do and how to do it. I am willing and able to dedicate some of my time to help you get those things in place, right? And then I can consider your income right now. So somebody might say, I only make 30,000 a year and I can't afford to pay how much your out-of-pocket rate is. We can do a sliding scale that they will end up paying maybe $50 per session, or sometimes less, depending on the situation. I take most insurance, especially Medicaid, and all the Medicaid care plans. So most of my services are covered, that you don't have to pay anything out of pocket. And I am accessible by phone. You can call or text me. I usually respond within 48 hours. You can send me an email, however way you need to reach me, because I want to make sure that people who don't know how to use the internet or complicated things, myself included, will be able to call me, and I'll do my best to respond within that 48 hours.
So, are you on a social media platforms at all?
I have Instagram and Facebook, and it's Oasis Living Center.
Okay.
You can find me that way. Yeah.
Okay, that's what's up. Because I definitely want to add you to one of the sponsors, and I ain't gonna charge you nothing because mental health is very much needed in our community. So I'm going to add that. We'll talk about that later, but I definitely want to add your information to our sponsor page because this is needed. You know, I was hoping it's wild to me because on social media, I could post butt naked, big old booties and everything. I could talk about twerking and this, that, and the third, and you won't get no response. But I talk about mental health and what we are kind of complicate. Well, it's crickets. It's crickets.
Because it's an inherited culture. Your parents didn't go to therapy. And so if you come out of the blue at family function, be like, listen, I'm seeing this woman and she's so awesome. I'm learning so much of myself. People are like, what is wrong with you? Why would you do something like that?
It used to be shame.
Thing.
Yeah.
But really, think about your own personal assistant who is there to support you, get through the days, and not be stressed out. How awesome is that?
I think everybody needs to go.
I think everybody needs to go too.
Really awesome.
That is,
I think everybody needs to go to life coaching classes or therapy. I don't care, therapy and coaching. Get it done because
Get part of your routine. Like you go to the hair shop every 2 weeks and spend $200. You can spend $50 or even spare an hour of your time every 2 weeks for your maintenance. That the clothes is fine. It looks good on you. We get
but
it.
what about the
But if
mind?
you're not right in the mind, everything falls apart.
let's get
So
that a
they
round
say-
of applause.
Your birthday too.
You said a mouthful right there. You said a mouthful, and that's the mission for
Right,
today.
so yeah.
Is to bring awareness to this and provide an outlet for folks because, you said something very prolific. It's an inherited culture, an inherited slavery mentality. I just can't fathom how black folks is still we hood, but there got to be some type of switch to turn it on, and turn it off. Sometimes it's got to be somewhere you can put that up there, and back shelf. I remember time when I was,
That's the time of
you know what I'm saying? But now it's not like that. And I think our races, we're going to suffer the most. I ain't gonna get into the conspiracies, but I think we're gonna suffer the most, or we are suffering the most, and we'll continue until crap hits the fan. We have no choice but to depend on each other.
Yeah. And we don't recognize how much trauma impacts us on a daily basis because we are resilient and survivors. But it doesn't have to be that way. We can lay down the old bag, unpack them, and let that therapist hold on to these things for you so you can make room in that bag to fill it up with positive things.
That's it.
That will change your lifestyle, your thinking, influencing your children and their children to end that cycle of we have to endure. You don't have to enjoy anything. You can live and be better and live better.
That is wow. Let's get us a round of applause because I never thought about that. You don't have to endure. You can live. And it's about choices. I got a quick question though. Switch it up for a minute.
Sure.
I hear your accent. Where are you from?
I was born in West Africa, Ghana.
Okay. When did you come over here?
I was 15 and I grew up in New York City.
Oh wow. You have my goodness.
Okay.
You're spread
Yeah.
all over the place there, huh?
Melting
Where
pot.
did you go to school at? Where did you
I
graduate from? Where did you graduate?
in New York or here?
All of it.
Both.
All of it? Okay. So I went to high school in Far Rockaway, Queens. It's like at the edge of New York City. And I graduated and went to college in Buffalo, New York. And then when I graduated, that transition from being a student to adulthood was so hard and I had no idea. And yes, I went to counseling to help me with that transition. And then I decided that I just don't want to live in the state anymore. And I had connections in Ohio. So I moved over here and it's been great. I love being here. The traffic is on.
Yeah, you can keep New York. I've been in New York a couple times, and you can have it. You right about that. And what's so wild about New York is when you go to New York, I don't care how many times you go to goddamn New York, somebody gonna know that you ain't from there.
Yes, they do.
I can have on the same clothes for 2 days, and this person was like, "You not from here." Hey, man. But it is too much of a hustle and bustle. But you inherited a culture a lot up there in New York, didn't you?
Oh, you have to. And you don't recognize it when you're in it. And then you get out of there and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I lived like that. So the same thing with the trauma thing. We don't recognize that the trauma responses that we have on a daily basis is not normal. And that your brain can learn to calm down, but you have to find the right connection through therapy work so that you can do better.
I like that.
So, I think in the Black community, I hear a lot of people say, well, I'm going to just pray to God about it in their beliefs. And that's fine too. But definitely doing the work for therapy is needed because, like you said, I can go talk to my sister or cousin and they're going to speak from their point of or pretend of what they may have, what they may do about it. Nobody's really going to tell the truth about it because it's two things. They could tell you right or look down on you and say, well, why are you going through this?
Depends on who you're talking to.
Right. And it depends on who you're talking to. Or they have trauma in them. They don't know what direction to pull you in. Next thing you know, we in the car on I-75 going crazy, doing things. So therapy is definitely, yeah. No, I'm just saying because you got some friends that can influence you different ways.
That all been through stuff and they don't know. You can't have
because the
several traumatized people talking to each other and trying to give each other advice. You need the professionalism and the education of that person who has that status to give you the information and help you through whatever it is you're dealing with. Right. Now, mental health, it has a whole different types of levels. You know what I'm saying? Like she said, you could be going to there for anxiety. You could be going there because you don't feel like going to work or you're depressed. It's all different realms of mental health and the reasons why people need to go to get help. And like she said, some people, they don't want to go get help because they don't want to feel like something's wrong with them.
Don't want to be fixed.
Honestly, if you actually take a look at yourself, everyone isn't perfect. We all been through stuff. We all been through stuff that we don't know how to deal with, that we had to push ourselves through. We had to get through by ourselves, or with, like you said, your sister or your cousin or whatever talking to you. You can't just keep on going through life like that. We all need help, and we need to open up the doors for people to receive the help.
True, because if I come to you all the time with my troubles, at some point I'm breaking you down. So now you broke down, I'm broke down, then you go break somebody else down. So it becomes a trickle effect instead of, as they say, quote unquote, go lay on the couch. I just feel like some people just cover up the mental health issues by certain things. And if that's what they want to do for the moment, I guess that's fine. But this is the time now. This is no other greater time than now. The city that we living in is going through a lot of things. People are going through a lot of things. Ever since COVID happened, we've been going through things. Like I spoke about last week, going back to the barter system where we're going to have to lean and love on each other more. Like, this is the time now. So this means a lot to me when it comes to mental health. So this is the start. So let's go.
And I agree with you both. What I would say is having spirituality is part of the healing. It's good to feel that there's a higher power somewhere that you can tap into. The problem around that could be a barrier is that you don't get direct feedback from that spiritual guidance, right? And when you go to your cousin, you can look at it as your one eye leader of the blind. They can give you partial support.
That's it.
But when you go to a clinician, they're looking at your problem from a different perspective, a neutral place where you see the problem differently to get a different result by taking actions.
That's what I call it. Like, they give you different, like, coping mechanisms, like, you know, different tools to use when you're dealing with certain levels of stress, like, and different ways to take your stress. Like, instead of looking at it negative, you know, flip it this way.
Yeah. And it helps your relationship with other people. For example, if we're going with the same, cousin concept, your cousin will get tired of hearing the same story over and over again. But the clinician is trained in a way that is a intentional, systematic process that will get you results at some point. Where your cousin can say, oh, here she goes again. She's calling again. I bet it's about the same thing.
Yeah.
So put that burden on your counselor. You can have a healthy cousin-to-cousin relationship where you don't have to burden them with your problems.
Right.
And you're not being judged. You know what I'm saying? You're not being judged by the counselor, because you got your family members. Of course, sometimes they may judge you, you may not. You get some people telling you the truth. Sometimes they tell you what you want to hear. But how is that helping you? How is that helping you if you're only getting told what you might want to hear?
Correct.
And then too, if you go talk to your sister or cousin and you tell them half of the story, they only gonna give you half of what they want to give you. So when you can go to somebody fully, your full pure self, and sit and talk to them, and they translate back to you they full pure self, then you can build and grow from that. So a lot of people talk about Obama, that he didn't do anything for the people. The biggest thing that I am happy that Obama did was medical. But guess what? You know what I'm mad about? And guess what I'm mad about? Because every African American should have health care. But guess what? I still see people running around here in the city in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s and don't got medical. They should be ashamed. This man put the platform there. He got it, and y'all not going to use it?
Sometimes you make too much money, but you don't qualify for it.
And that's fine, but what about if you don't make any money?
Now that part is no excuse.
So some of the people that's running around,
there's no excuse for that.
Out here running around without no medical
care,
and they
no
don't
nothing.
go to the clinic or
to
the
nothing.
nothing. No one gets checked out or
Nothing.
nothing. Everybody just running
But they
around
got on
like
some Louis
they can take
Vuitton.
care of
You
themselves,
better
like they
believe
don't
that.
need
That's it.
care.
I would like to add on that and to correct something real quickly. With the Obamacare, regardless of how much you make, they create the premium based on your income. So let's say somebody who makes $16,000 a year may qualify for 100% coverage with no premium being paid. Somebody who makes 30 might be required to pay $100 a month. Someone who makes 32 might be paying 110 a month. So it's more of a percentage base.
I need to find. You need to give me the links because everything that I've been through, I got health insurance like I had to go to
Medicaid marketplace.
Oh my gosh, I'm never going there again. There'll be 15 million people calling you for months, and they all work from home. And no, that scared me too. Like what you just said. Like I went to go fill out for Medicaid.
Mm-hmm.
And dagnabbit, I didn't even hit send yet, and my phone was bling, and I got nervous. And I got nervous because these are people I guess working from home, and you trying to give you. I don't want to give you my information. What if I don't want this and this, that, and the third? So a lot of that played a lot with that with me. But I did break down, and I went to a place on next to Goodies, as a matter of fact, barbecue, a doctor's office where they do the sliding scale like you do for your like what we just talking about. So I did go get some tests and checkups and stuff done that I needed to take care of over there without having insurance. I just went on the sliding scale like you said. So there is insurance out there.
And when it comes to the insurance, they can't turn you away. Not like That's if you go to the hospital, people.
Oh, I'm good for that.
Like I know, I'm just saying, like you can't be turned away.
Yeah, I'm good for that.
You'll just get a bill, but guess what? They are starting now to realize that putting that bill on your credit that shouldn't have never been done. Like it's some ups and downs to it. I just want my same brown people that look like me. We have to stop making excuses and put in the work. And if you don't know where to start, you never know who at the next shoulder that you can bump that can help you. Everybody that's around you is not against you. So, as I stated before, the time is now. Just because I may be at age, a 60, 70-year-old may can help me, or a 15, 16, because times has totally changed. We just have to give each person grace and just and let's move towards something. It's something.
You got to ask questions. You know what I'm saying? You got to ask questions. You may not know who knows whatever it is that you need to know. You know what I'm saying? Don't hold your tongue. Don't bite your tongue.
I got a question.
Because closed mouth don't get fed. So.
And, absolutely, I agree. Let's say you walk in my office and, you get 15 minutes consultation for free. After the 15 minutes, you get to choose if you want to move on with me or not. But before you leave, the idea is that if I'm not able to help you, I should be able to connect you to somebody else who might be able to help you. So you interview as many people as you want to till you find the right connection.
That's what's up. I got a question.
That's what's up. I got a quick question. How long are your sessions? Like when you give a full session, like how long are your sessions?
You can do half an hour at a time, or you can do an hour at a time. An hour is the maximum per day. So let's say I saw you on Monday and you were working on being able to go to work 4 out of the 5 days of the week. Maybe we can create a plan where you would check in on the 4th day so we can assess whether the plan worked or it didn't. Or we can just do once a week. So depending on your availability, the issues that you're having, and the intensity that we both agree on. I see people.
I was just about to ask you that.
Yeah.
I was just about to ask you how often do you usually see your clients? Because I actually go to therapy now. Like I started going to therapy because I realized that I needed therapy a long time ago because a lot of things happened to me, but I just kept it under wraps. And then, I lived my life. I took care of my kids. And I noticed like throughout, my life, like I probably I should have, because I went to therapy once back when I was a teenager, but that was because they made me go, and they only gave me like 2 free sessions. But like you said, you have to go and talk to someone that you feel comfortable with. Now that I've only been to therapy like maybe twice, because they only, because of the way that they schedule things out. That's why I was saying, like, how often do you see people? Because honestly, for me, I wish that I could see my therapist or whoever that is a little more often. And also, I wish I had a person that looked like me, because some things I don't think that this lady ready to hear. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying.
No, it's reality. It's fair. Yeah. And sometimes when you have someone who looks like you, it might go against you because their perception of that experience might be a little bit different from you, and it can create barriers. But for the most part, when someone looks like you, it makes it easier to, lower the defenses up a little bit, so that you can be open and honest. There are some things that you have to be part of the culture to understand.
That's it.
And I get that. But a lot of clinicians are trained in, cultural diversity, and they can do the educational part and help you navigate. But I can understand how having someone who looks like you makes a huge difference.
Nicole,
now.
Hold on one second. Nicole, I definitely take my hats off to you and give you flowers and commend you for getting on the platform to say that. Because most that look like us would not say that, but you keep on pushing through. You got it. Because that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
All righty. Yeah, that's why I let you pass when you cut me off with my question. But I seen that you needed to get something off your goddamn chest. So I'm glad you got it off your chest. And maybe I can resume with my question and we can have therapy later on. But no, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just talking shit. You know I am. But you said it. I got to. GRIZZBY is my 2 cents. Flex. That's a mental health issue right there. But anyway,
he gonna get a first free session.
But you said culture, and I wanted to know your definition of bad mental health, and does lifestyles equal bad mental health? And I'm just gonna come out and say it. Let's just pick what's hot today right now is men trying to compete with women, men wanting to be women, men talking about they can have periods and all this other bull crap. And I just, for GP, I just wanted to go on record and see what somebody that was professional had to say about it.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get me in trouble. So you're asking a question that is like multi-layered question.
With the 50 different things.
Yeah, but what I can say is your lifestyle choices that impact your mental health. Let's take in a personal relationship, for example. When you're in a bad, toxic relationship, you're not going to feel good about yourself. Mm-hmm. So that is a bad situation, right?
Yeah.
And so, yes, that lifestyle is not conducive to stable mental health. If you are struggling to, meet the demands of home, like being a single parent to children, and you can't financially support them, you're going to come off more irritated and angry. So that is not a good mental space to be in. So your job through therapy is to put those things on the table and look at it differently and identify ways to address them without responding in the way that you have been responding that has been unproductive.
So how would you address a man to come in there and tell you that he feels like a man and feels like he can have a period and owns it?
We're going to say that for next time.
We are going to say,
can you please help me with this?
Talk more about what is contributing to you feeling that way. Sometimes too, it could be a medical issue, and I'll be more than happy to make a referral to a medical provider to address those things.
Hey, let's give a round of applause because that was a great answer. She slid around that answer like, no, Mr. Grizz, you're not going to get me hemmed up on this.
see what you're trying to do.
I got to. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes the show interesting. But
I love it.
But I want to know, like, what has been like one of your worst cases that you had to deal with?
I'm sorry, what was the question?
What are one of your worst cases you had to deal with?
Ooh, that's a good question.
That is a hard question. I mean, with 17, 18 years experience, it's so hard to pinpoint one. But I would say in general, people who have natural support system, who are motivated, they tend to have better outcome and results than someone coming in with very little support system and motivation to change. So for example, somebody comes in and go, you know what? I want to weave a basket underwater. And I'm like, great, let's figure it out. And then
what? You would help him figure out how to weave a basket underwater? You are very neutral.
It's my
be judging people.
You know, and so that's your plan, right? And I support you. Whatever you want to do, remember, it's non-judgmental. So whatever you want to do, let's figure this out. Now, if I give you recommendations and you don't follow through with them, it makes my job harder. So for me, before somebody gathered the courage to call and make an appointment, they have already recognized there's a need. So I'm excited. And so when you come in, I need to gauge your stage of change, like, you know, where you at. Do you really want to address this, or you just want a place to just vent and get off your chest? So I gauge those things, and that also drives the treatment for me. So I wouldn't say that I've had much difficulties with people, and I know my limitations. So if I'm not able to help, I'm not afraid to say it and say, hey, I may not be the right clinician for you, but here's a listing of people and I will help you get there. So I'm not just gonna be like, well, I can't help you, so bye. It's more of, I'm here, let's get you to the right person and then see what happens. And I stay with you.
So we need more people like her. We need more people like her out there.
Right.
That's willing to lead you to where you need to go if they're unable to help. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't stand going anywhere, wherever it's at, the department store, the gas station,
and nobody got
wherever.
No
and I'm like,
directions.
Excuse me. And they'd be like, what? And then they just be
I
like,
don't work in this area.
And I'm like, hell, I need help. Like, hello, I came here to get my dress fixed. Ain't you, the dress fixer? Like, I just don't understand. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure
and coming from a place where I didn't speak English for a long time, and constantly being asked to repeat myself and me asking people to repeat themselves, I appreciate somebody making an attempt to express themselves openly, right? Because it takes a lot to be able to say, hey, I haven't been feeling well and I need help. And I have the knowledge and the ability to do something about it. So whatever needs to be done, I take conversation and communication very seriously when it comes to clients, because if I don't understand you, I won't be able to help or get you to where you need help.
You have to also have a good person that knows how to listen. A lot of people out here cannot listen. No. And it seems like if you have a good counselor that can listen to exactly what you're saying and not just saying, and then asking rhetorical questions or whatever, you really getting down to the nitty gritty and listening to this person as an individual to help them, then that's what everyone needs. People needs people to listen to them. Whatever they have
Most
to say
about
whatever instance or whatever that they're going through.
Yeah, exactly.
What's the youngest age you've counseled someone?
I would say 5 years old, all the way to however old they are. I would say 65.
Wow.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
So
5-year-old.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think that, you know how they pass laws and do different things, do you think that it should be a requirement for our culture and other cultures, but really our culture, to have counseling by the age of 18 when they're like starting their life? Like,
yeah, it should be a course in school.
Because
before you graduate, like I think
I think they should do it at a younger age.
Yes, because
all these kids nowadays, they're confused about sexuality, and half of them don't even know where they're going or what they want to do in life.
So with saying that,
go
ahead.
division in the educational system and what services to provide to who. I would say, comparing Fairfield School District with Lakota, their curriculum looked slightly different. Lakota implements financial hygiene kind of courses that the students have to pass to be able to move on. I'm not sure if it's the same for Fairfield.
No,
now, when
it's not.
Lakota,
Princeton is like that.
The percentage of minorities is really small compared to Fairfield, right? So I can only imagine comparing Fairfield to Hamilton School District, it will be very different. Now, if we pin this information and look at if we make mental health services as part of the curriculum, we will get a lot of pushback from Fairfield community in Hamilton City, because the percentage of brown people are higher and more low income. So their level of education around mental health and well-being is very limited. So they're going to be like, you can't make my kid get help. Like, you trying to, how we do, right? Very defensive because of the lack of knowledge. So the conversation starts with home, doing community outreach and giving information and education to the parents will help, diffuse that defensiveness that we bring to the table to be open if they ever implement that. But it will be very challenging to have to do that across the board.
Okay.
Yeah, I need some pamphlets to pass out when I be passing out my cards, because I see a lot of people that need some help. I know a lot of people that need some help. Like, here, man, you need this. For real.
Yeah, just come for 15 minutes. Let's have a conversation. If you want, I can email you a flyer and you can make it part of your resources to give out. And if you're ever doing anything in the community, just hit me up and I'll be more than happy to show up.
Yeah, that's what that's another thing that we were talking about and discussing, because this past weekend, let's give this weekend a round of applause, because the weekend was live, man. Last weekend was live. We had the Black Cincy Soul Taste. It started off with a little hits, but of course J. Raj made it work, and you know what I'm saying? So people, we can talk about it. We'll talk about it.
Mental health.
Everybody, and for the most part, the weekend was off the chain.
It was nice.
You know what I'm saying? Riverfront, Orlando's old school party on the square. So the city was jumping. But one of my things was when we thought you was coming on last week and you caught the flu out the blue. Did I say that out loud?
This is why you can't lean on people.
I'm sorry.
This just right here.
I'm sorry.
Just proved the point.
I'm sorry. I got mental health issues.
I'm about to say another way.
But anyway, we had tens of thousands of black folks, brown folks down in the city, and I can guarantee you that no one had a booth. No one was providing information for mental health. Or a pamphlet that you might have. Nobody, nowhere. And I'm thinking that I wanted to reach out to these folks that's doing these events, especially with vendors, to set up a booth. And I wanted to run that past you, you know what I'm saying, if that's something possible you want to do or be interested in, because I think a presence is known, and if people put a face to it, a brown face to it, then it might not be so taboo, or might not be, with the word you use, be on the defense of it. I ain't going to see no shrink.
So, absolutely, I'll be so honored to be part of it. Just let me know when and where, and we'll make it happen.
Okay, that's what's up.
It's not just about my services. Even just giving them information on what it looks like. They can go to any other community program, but of course mine is awesome. But just getting that help is more important to me than anything.
That's what's up. Let's give it a round of applause. Oh, you got one question?
So, it say, from the historic misconceptions, we learn to ignore mental illness, or call it other terms like stress and being tired. Is that true in our culture?
Can you repeat the question, please?
It says, from those historic misconceptions, we learn to ignore mental illness, or call it other terms like stress and being tired.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's absolutely true, because when your basic needs are not met, you're not thinking about anything else. So we call it stress. I'm stressed because I can't get that job that will allow me to spend time with my kids. I'm stressed because my partner is stressing me out.
Empty.
Sorry?
Refrigerator empty. I'm saying all the basic needs, like all the like we at the beginning when you was trying to explain the basic needs, like that's exactly what it is. If your basic needs ain't met, like you said, house, like a roof over your head, clothing on your back, the same stuff that your parents provide for you, and they hold that over your head. Who put clothes on your back, the roof over your head, food on the table, the survival needs. If everyone doesn't, is someone laughing? It's like, no. If everyone doesn't have the survival needs, then you can't think about anything else. So that is correct, like how you saying, like once you have all that, you have some money or financial stability, you have a house over your head, you have food and clothes on your back and stuff, and you feel safe. That's the other one, because you feel safe. Once those have met, you can move on to the other stuff and think about what is going on with you, or what needs you need met, or what's the problem. You can't focus on your mental health, like what's really going on with you, if you're trying to focus on the regular shit that's going on with you every day. You can't.
Exactly. And we learn how to respond to stress, quote unquote, from who we grew up with, your caregiver and your parents. If mom is stressed and she yells or she picks up a beer and drink, you associate stress management with yelling and drinking or going out, right? And avoiding responsibility. Right. And so you don't see anything wrong with that because you grew up around that.
Just keep covering it up.
And that's like Tyann said on the previous show, or not Tyann, it could have Nicola, it doesn't matter, but it all goes back to the household. People don't understand it. Everything goes back to your household, how you were brought up, how you were raised, everything. Because once you come out of the womb,
you're predisposed.
There you go. So, to tie into this, because I did say something about the household. So I'm going to specifically speak on me because, I can't be judged by nobody but the Most High. But I come from a great place. I came from a great place, a 2-parent home, no drugs, lots of love, great schools. But somewhere down the line, I jumped the fence and cut my leg and ended up on the wrong side. So when it comes to mental health, do you see a lot of people that come from a great place and then they end up on the wrong side, and then they kind of like blame themselves because they came in a great place, but how did I end up over here? Like Jack and Jill falling down the hill.
Yes, I do that. And I think there are multiple factors that contributes to that. Because you don't just learn from your parents. When you become pregnant with a child, that fetus is inheriting about 400 different personalities from paternal and maternal side of the family. So you're creating a really unique individual. And you can have a recessive gene or a dominant gene that will play out as your personality. If your dominant personality is something so less dominant in the family, somebody might look at you and be like, I don't know where you get that personality from. It's somewhere lingering in the family and it's not coming out. How you perceive the world determines who you gravitate towards. So you can have a very stable environment, but when you're exposed to certain experiences, that might strike your curiosity and you lean toward that.
So is having multiple personalities a mental health issue?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, it is. And it's related to trauma.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
It's crazy, and it could pop up at any time.
But your personality is you.
My friends had just texted her, and because some crazy stuff was going on, and she was wondering why she was responding to her, and she was acting the way it was. Come to find out, she texted her, and she was diagnosed with like multiple personalities or something type of disorder. But she's.
How can that be a disorder? How can that be a disorder? You put on a different personality for every situation. You put on a different personality when you meet somebody. You put on a different personality at the job.
Like
I think you may be.
Trauma. It's trauma. It's something that she went through, and then she. It's crazy. It's crazy, but like you said, it can happen at young people's ages, at any type of age. That's all I'm saying. All I'm saying is all these things can happen at whatever age. That's all.
Okay.
Because you do have different personalities, but the mental state of it, you don't have no personality to go out and be a killer. That's not what you're supposed to be thinking. Like, that's a chemical imbalance.
Okay, hold on a second. So there's a mental health disorder called multiple personality disorder that is induced by trauma. And there is the issues where somebody is not set in who they are. And so they kind of feed off of whatever energy they're around. That's different. That's not a mental health. That is a self-esteem issue. Because multiple personality disorder is a very serious, severe mental health issues that the person doesn't have control over the multiple personalities in there. And what induces it is being exposed to trauma, chronic trauma, over and over and over again. So the brain finds a way to, it's called a split, but it's really not a split. It's more of the brain trying to cope with anything that triggers the trauma. So that's different from
what is trauma? What is classified as trauma?
Trauma can take place in the form of growing up in chaotic environment where, watching a parent get seriously harmed, domestic violence, chronic homelessness, sexual abuse, emotional abuse, sexual, emotional, physical abuse, watching someone die.
What about
anything
a head
outside
injury?
Of the ordinary.
What about a head injury?
Head injury, yes.
Okay.
That also can induce trauma.
Yeah, well, okay. Yeah. That explains it.
But only a medical professional or a mental health professional can officially diagnose these things.
Right. Do you prescribe medicine?
Oh, no, thank goodness. No, I do not.
Personality disorder. Okay, that's what she was diagnosed with. Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
And that can just pop up out of nowhere. Like, one that my daughter went to school with, and all of a sudden, like, so trauma, like you said, any of those things that she said that goes down, that could deal with it. I
think you can control it.
Was shot in the head, and he had head trauma because he still got the bullet fragment still in his head. So everybody get all kinds of trauma.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And the good thing is, just because trauma happened doesn't mean you can't get over it. It's not a permanent diagnosis. If you get the right help and do the work, the brain will learn to calm down and not continue to respond to triggers. But if it goes untreated, it continues to cause you harm. And part of the symptoms is depression and anxiety. When you're anxious, your physical body feels like it's dying. And so it goes into survival mode, which means that you will have digestive issues. It can create so much stress on the body that you start having medical issues like cancer. And so you want to take care of these things and lengthen your lifespan.
Yeah. Okay.
So where we go from here?
We go from here is a part 2, and we get some events and get some pamphlets that you email it to, or email me or whatever, so I can print out. And I think that's going to be a part of my arsenal. I know as far as that. Fantastic. And I know that these 3 women will be calling you for sessions. At the end of the week here, I guarantee you, all 3 of them will be calling you. And ladies, y'all can afford it. So y'all, she got all of.
He gonna call first.
No, I'm good. She answered all my questions.
Put the number on speed dial.
She answered all my questions. So and I'm definitely gonna get her some business because I know a lot of cuckoo people. You know what I'm saying? And they need some help. And I don't mean that offensively, but they nuts. But anyway.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate you coming on the show. We're going to do a part 2. Let's give you a round of applause because you did answer a lot of questions, put a lot of things in perspective. And I'm sure we're going to have a lot of numbers because once I share it and people watch it, the numbers go boom. So I'm pretty sure we're going to have a lot of views on it and a lot of questions and so forth. So, again, we appreciate you coming to the show.
All right. You guys have a great evening. So nice to meet you all.
Hold on, Miss French.
Yes,
hold on.
Is there something that you could say to the other brown people that look like us that can open up the door to get them to start, wanting to shed away the trauma? Is there something you can leave them with tonight?
Yeah, you don't have to hold on to all that stress that you've experienced. And obviously you've done something to keep you up till this point. But there is so many safe places to leave that burden there so you can leave room to live better and to do better. And you wouldn't know until you have that consultation and see what that looks like for you. Treatment looks so different for everybody, but the first step to healing is actually making that call and showing up.
That's what's
up. I hope that they listen and they make an attempt to get some help.
That's what's up.
Thank you.
Well, we all gonna get out of here at the same time. You ain't gonna be leaving beforehand. We in this together. So every Wednesday, like we say, girls, I appreciate y'all coming on. Very important show. Next week we gonna try and get Cam on here. Crazy. Yes. He needs therapy. We definitely gonna give him some of your flyers.
They're gonna be talking about the homie.
Yeah, we gonna give him some flyers. But we say every Wednesday, don't be stuck on stupid and relaxed on dumb. See y'all next week.
It's the #1 station blazing the airwaves.
So every time I make that call, baby, be ready. Maybe we can hit the banks and stroll, don't do the levy. And I don't ever mention the sex, it get too messy. Turn your bitch into a flirt iron quick, she trying to press me. But if all she got is pussy to offer, it don't impress me. I'm like, whoa, slow down. It's enough of that to go round. Besides, I'm a grown ass man. I need more.